Hi, in this video we're going to learn how to create an order in CRM. So we're going to be using the same example we've been using throughout our videos, which is Ozone Cornucopia. This is the purchase order that we're going to use to create our order. So you can still see that we have the 24 feet of multi-deck produce and the 40 feet of multi-deck dairy. We also see that our ship-to address is Cornucopia, Sayville, New York. So I'm now going to go into CRM and show you a couple of things. As previously stated, this is our dashboard. If you know the opportunity, which we do, 72101, you can just put that up here and hit enter, and it's going to bring up anything that's associated with this particular opportunity. So we've got our opportunity here, and so far we have 4 different quotes that have been created for this particular opportunity. This is the one that we're going to be using to create the order. However, I want to show you one thing, so I'm going to go into O3 real quick. This particular one has not been finished all the way, so I'm going to hurry and put these couple of things in here. Okay, you will notice up here in the corner the draft or the status reason, and it says draft. This is new. This will be locked in the future, and once it's gone through the pricing approval, you'll have this. But for right now, you need to go in and change this status reason to active and then save it. And then you'll see up here you get the option to create the order. The create order is not going to be there until you do that. So I want you to see that one more time. I'm going to go to opportunity. Whoops, excuse me. I'm going to go here. 72101. And I'm going to go to the opportunity. So a couple of things you'll be able to see from here. Again, I got to scroll back up to the top. All of the quotes that you create are right over here, so you'd be able to see them. You can see I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to go back into 2 for a minute and show you again what I had just done. So this one's already up here. If you look, there's nowhere that says create order. So we've got to change that. So you go over here to the status reason, and it's in draft right now. You hit active, and then you come down here and save it. And when you do that, you'll see that create order comes up there. So that's how you get this button to create the order, is changing that status. So I'm going to go back into quote number 4. And this is the one we're going to create the order with here. So you can see the reason shows active. So now I can create order. So up here you would hit create order. Okay, that took a little bit of time. Hopefully that won't be in the future. But I want to point out a couple of things to you. Now we're in the order. So you can see the opportunity still is a 72101. The -04 means that was the 4th quote that we had done. And then the new -01 means this is the first order that we have done here. And this is going to flow over to HOP. So this is very important. So we can see from here we've got our general information, we've got our bill to, our ship to account, From here now, same theme, there are certain items that we're going to have to fill out in order to create this order. First one that we have to do is to create the purchase order number. So we're looking on our purchase order here, and that purchase order number is 5736. So I'll go back over under here, and I'm going to put that purchase order number 5736 in there. In the future, if you don't have the purchase order or it's not correct, you will be able to hit this box here, and it will create, it will allow us to create the order without the PO, but it's going to give us some reasons. This is not active yet, but I want you to know that's where it will be. Next thing that we have to do here is the shipping method. So I'm going to pick truckload, and I'm going to go down and I'm going to look at a few things here, make sure I have my salesperson. I'm in here as the manager, or excuse me, the sales coordinator. And now here's all of our items that we're going to be adding to that, to our order. You'll see now in this portion here, the shortstop has been added. So anytime that we have an order, this shortstop will be there. It will be automatic. We won't really have to do anything with it, but this is when the shortstop shows up. So now I'm right in here, and I'm going to go to this grid, and we're going to look at this information now that we need to supply for this department here. I'm going to try and do these all at once. Okay, so I've done all of this department at one time here, and then I'm going to go up and say edit. And from the edit, errors will come up. At this point, we're just saying okay. And from edit, I'm going to do some testing here. So I'm going to say CRM order Mark IV, just so we know where these are coming up, just so we can change them here. So everything else, we're good here. We've already got the PO. This is where you'd say if you want it to print on invoice or not. And we can do that in a moment, but right now we're just changing all of the ship dates. So what I want to do down here is I want to go to my requested ship date, and I'm going to say I want it to ship on August 3rd, and I want the delivery date to be August 10th. And I want to change this just so I can see if it comes up to the way that we need it here. I want to say 7 p.m. And then I'm going to put on here CRM delivery details. So we can see where this comes over in hops. And then again, I'm going to put 7 p.m. And then I'm going to say change. So then all of those should have that new ship date and time on there. So now I'm going to go and do my other department, and I'm just going to click, 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 whoops, this one. And now I'm going to edit these. And for this particular test, I want to try something different. So again, I'm going to say CRM Mark IV, just so we know where it shows up. Nothing else here, and I'm going to go down and I'm going to do a different ship date now. So this one, let's say I want it to ship, let's say I want it to ship July 20th and deliver on August 2nd. And this one I want to arrive at, let's say 7 a.m. So this is going to be CRM delivery details. So we can see where that shows up. And then I want to put 7 a.m. here. So then that should be done, but we don't want to do anything with this shortstop because these dates are already auto-generated for us to keep this job open, and so we won't do anything with that. So now I want to go back and just make sure that this is a case and we want it to show up on the invoice. So I'm just going to check it, double click it, and we want to look on here and see it says show up on invoice, yes. So we're good there. So I'll go back and I'm going to do that with all of them in here. Again, if you have a few that you don't want to show up in the invoice, you could do them all at once. But I'm just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to do these separately so you can see. So right here, I would click this one and say no because we don't want this to show up on the invoice. So then I would save this and go back. Now where I said that you could do more than one that you didn't want to show up on the invoice, we're going to do that this time. So we're going to click this one. And I know I don't want this one to show up. And I don't want this one to show up. And let's see if there's any more that we don't want to show up on this invoice. Nope, looks like everything else would show up on the invoice. So then I can hit edit. And on this one, print on invoice, and I would say no and change. And so then all of those that we had on there are not going to show up on the invoice. So that's a little bit easier way of being able to do that. One other thing that we could look at here, let's see if we can find it. Let's see if we can go across here. Okay, it's not on here, so please excuse me. So we're done with this. We're going to close this. And then we'll scroll down here. Here's all our quote details. There's our shortstop. And here's our order. So this is where we would find all of our orders. So we're in this quote, -04. And now this is where your orders are going to show up. So we've got this one here, so I'm going to click on it. So we've created everything here. We've got this. We've got the information. And now we have the shipping details here. So you can see that I did some for 7 p.m. on 8/3 and 8/10. And then we have others that had 7/20 and 8/2. So we're all good here. We've got 8/10. Everything looks good here. This only one, this shortstop, doesn't have a time, and we can put a time in there just to make sure there's nothing that would cause this to stop here. So I am going to add a time to this one just to be safe. And then I'm going to save that. Sometimes it asks for that again. For this quote number, you'll just go ahead and put that back in. Whoops, and I did it just a little bit wrong here. There we go, because it's got the order number on the one right below it. Okay, so we want to save this. And this is just to be sure that we've got this where we need it. It's still not letting me do it. Let's see if there's something here. So let's go out of this and see. . So now you can see that 8 a.m. is shown in there. And we do this just to make sure nothing is going to stop it in hops. So we've got everything here now. We've got all of our delivery dates. We know what's going to be marked on the invoice. We've got the mark for here so we can see where it's flowing over when it goes to hops. Over here tells us what quote number it came from in HPC. Now we're ready to submit this order. So we've got everything done, and we're going to go up here and we're going to hit submit order. You will get this notification. It says order submitted successfully, and you say OK. And there's one other place you can go, and you can look down at the very bottom here in this web services info. You don't have to do this, but it's here in case you need it. You expand this, and it will show everything that was sent over to hops. Whoops, sorry about that. All of these things were sent over to hops. And then right here you see status successful. So you have just created your order and sent it to hops. So this is the end of this video. We will now, my next video will be when we go into hops and we find this order. So we'll see you on that one. Thank you.